It was a late afternoon at the opulent Grand Eclipse Hotel in the heart of Manhattan, where crystal chandeliers sparkled like artificial stars and the soft murmur of the elite filled the air. Amid the stream of wealthy guests, a young doorman named Alex Nguyen stood quietly at the entrance, his uniform neatly pressed though slightly worn at the cuffs. Alex had only been on the bar for less than a month. He mostly just nodded, held doors, and offered polite smiles, the kind that went unnoticed by most. Alex grew up in a modest neighborhood in Queens. His father passed away early from a work accident, and his mother had been blind since childhood due to complications from an illness. To communicate with her, Alex learned Braille at age 10, along with speaking slowly and clearly so she could read his lips. That skill became their only bridge, especially after his mother died 3 years ago from heart failure. Ever since, whenever he traced Braille letters or helped someone read directions, it felt like his mom was still right there with him. That day, a sleek black Rolls-Royce pulled up to the curb. Out stepped billionaire Ethan Harper, the founder of one of the largest tech empires in the country, and his mother, Eleanor Harper, an elegant woman in a silk blouse and dark glasses that hid eyes that had seen nothing since a car accident 2 decades earlier. Ethan always guided her arm himself, describing everything around them, but he was often distracted by calls and emails, leaving her sitting quietly with a polite smile hiding her loneliness. As Alex opened the door and greeted them, Ethan gave a quick nod and hurried inside, phone to his ear. Eleanor paused for a moment, her hand lightly on her son's arm, tilting her head to listen to the echoes of footsteps and the scent of polished marble. Alex recognized it instantly. The subtle tilt of her head, the faint tremble in her fingers on the railing. Just like his mom used to do. Without thinking twice, he leaned in gently and said in a calm, clear voice, "Ma'am, I'm Alex, the doorman here. Would you like me to read the menu for you or describe the way to the restaurant? I can go slow so you can follow, or if you prefer, I can trace it in Braille on your palm." Eleanor startled, turning her face toward the voice. Ethan, a few steps ahead on his call, suddenly stopped and turned around. The entire lobby seemed to hush in that instant. No one expected a doorman to speak up to a blind, elderly woman like that, let alone offer Braille, something even the high-end concierge staff rarely knew. Eleanor's face broke into a smile, tears welling behind her dark glasses. She reached out, touching Alex's hand lightly. You, you really know Braille? It's been so long since anyone read to me like this." Her voice trembled. Alex nodded, even though she couldn't see it. He gently took her hand and slowly traced simple Braille letters on her palm. "I understand. I used to read to my mom every night. You're safe. I'll read anything you want." Ethan stood frozen. For years, he had hired interpreters, bought the latest devices, but he had never seen his mother so moved. She laughed out loud, her voice carrying through the lobby. "Ethan, listen. He's reading to me just like the old days. It feels like I'm alive again." The dinner that followed was different. Ethan invited Alex to join them in the restaurant. Alex sat beside Eleanor, reading the menu in Braille, then sharing light stories about growing up in Queens and his mom, the things she listened to with rapt attention. Ethan watched in silence, his eyes reddening. He remembered the years he'd spent building his empire, leaving his mother alone in the dark. After the meal, Ethan pulled Alex aside. "You did something my billions couldn't buy," he said, his voice rough. "My mother hasn't smiled like that in years." Alex just shrugged modestly. "I only did what I used to do for my mom." Ethan didn't say much more. Quietly, he arranged for the Hale to offer free Braille classes and accessibility training for all staff, in memory of Alex's mother. And though Alex never asked, Ethan provided him with a full scholarship to study special education, telling him the world needed more people like him, people who could bridge darkness with kindness. The story spread quickly across social media. Guests who witnessed it posted about it, and the grand eclipse became a symbol of quiet compassion. Eleanor returned often, always asking for Alex. They talked through gentle traces on the palm, like a mother and the extra son she never had. In quiet moments during his break, Alex stood by the window overlooking the city skyline, his fingers tracing invisible Braille in the air. "Mom, I'm still reading for someone else." And he knew. Ooh, love never really leaves. It just passes from one hand to another, from one heart to the next. If this story touched you or brought a smile, feel free to share it. Sometimes a small gesture is all it takes to light up someone's darkness. Have you ever witnessed or offered a quiet act of kindness like this? I'd love to hear in the comments.